Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, I'll walk you through everything you need to know to get started with React using Vite and set up your development environment from installing Node.js to running your first React app. If you're new here, I'm Mehdi with over a decade of experience in coding and maintaining projects. I create web development tutorials here to help you become a web development pro. So hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the rest of this React crash course. Now let's jump into the video. Before we begin, you need to have two things on your computer. First one is being the Node.js and second one is a code editor that I recommend, Visual Studio Code, which is the same thing that I'm going to use in this video. So first, for installing Node.js, you simply search Node in your browser, and you can see here you got this download and install Node from nodejs.org. And here you can download the Node.js for your operating system, which mine is Windows, and the architecture is x64. Then you download it just like this and wait to download. After this downloads, you'll simply open this and you got this, click run, and it can take some time to load the installation UI, so wait a little bit here. Now here we're going to click this next, accept the terms, and select the folder that you want to install Node.js. Mine is going to be in Drive C installed programs and Node.js folder. Then you really don't need to change anything right here, so press this next, and we don't want to have these other options to install either. Now we click this install and wait to installation complete. After you finished your installation right here, you can have your terminal, and here if you type this node right here followed by -v, it's going to print the version of Node that you have on your computer. And pay attention, when we installed Node, we're going to install npm with that too. So when we got our Node, this npm is installed there either. And this is what we're going to use as our package manager, because this npm is Node package manager. And if we check the version of that, again, we can use this npm followed by -v, and here you can see we got the version of our npm right here. After we done with our Node and npm, another thing that you need is code editor, which I'm using this Visual Studio Code that we can come and download from here and install on your computer. So what we need to do now is create a React app and set up a React project. And if we come to this React's original website right here and we click on this quick start, here in the installation, we come to this start a new React project. You can see we got some options to go with that. But one of the very easy and very useful is Vite, which is a very good modern build tool that's faster and more efficient, and it offers instant server startup and fast hot module replacement, which we're going to cover later. And for creating our React app using Vite, first thing that we need is a folder that we want our React application and project to be inside of that. So I'm going to build that here in this path that you can see. So I'm going to open another terminal right here, and we can close the other one there. And what you need to do here to create React project is using this Node package manager, aka the npm, and then we use this create, and after this we use this Vite, and if we add this @ sign right here and use this latest, is going to grab the latest version of this for us. And after this we're going to define the name of our project. Pay attention that here if we use simple dot, it's going to create that in this folder. But I'm going to create this in another folder inside of my React crash course that you can see we are inside of this folder in our terminal with the name of first app. And if we click enter right here, you can see first it's going to ask us a question that do you want to install the create Vite package on your computer, which we're going to use this Vite as yes. And here after that, you can see here in the Vite, we got some options that we can use to create projects for that. And you can navigate with your arrow keys, and we're going to select this React that we got right here as our third option. And after we click on this, it's going to ask us another question, which how we want to set up our React. We're going to use the simple JavaScript here. And after we're done with this, if we come and check our folder, you can see that we got another folder inside of our main one with the name of first app. And if we click on that, you can see that we got a bunch of files right here. But another thing that we need to do here is running this npm install. And what this command does is it's going to install the dependencies that we need in our project. And if we click this, you can see that we got error because we need to come to the folder that we have created. Pay attention, in our terminal, we are here now, not inside of this folder. So we need to come to this folder inside of our terminal, which we're going to do that by using this command of cd, which stands for change directory. And then you can use this tab to get all of the files that you have, which we're going to use this first app. And after we change the directory to first app, we're going to run npm install again. And now we're going to wait a little bit to installation complete. And you can see here we got this printing of our package and dependencies have been installed. And after we got this kind of information, we're going to use this npm run dev. And what this does, it's going to run our project for us. And if we click, you can see we got this result right here, which says we can access the project by this URL, which is in our localhost on port 5173. And if we open this inside of our browser, here if we type this localhost and then 5173, you can see here we got this simple thing, which is our entry point and base project in React using Vite, which has this little thing of counter, which if we click on this is going to increase each time. But another thing is very awesome here. If you check your folder right here, you can see now this time we got another bunch of files added to this folder, and we got our full project folders with installed dependencies right here. So let's open this folder inside of our Visual Studio Code, which you can use by having this open folder and selecting that. But I'm going to simply come here and drag and drop this into this section. And you can see that you might have this little pop-up right here, which is going to tell you VS Code wants to save the configuration of your workspace in little file inside of your folder. So it remembers what you have changed and open base of that, which is very good that if you want to save that, which I'm going to save that here again. And now you can see we got our files right here in our Explorer part. And let's have both of our code and the result right here so we can see both of them in one screen. And here let's talk about these files that we have inside of our project. First one at the top, we got this node modules that you can see, which are necessary things that we need to have to run our React project. So we don't really going to change anything inside of this node modules right here. After this, we got this public folder, as you can see right here, which is going to hold our static files for us, such as some image, some global things that we want to have right here, and as you can see, some icons and SVGs. The other thing that we have is going to be this source folder right here, which this folder is where we're going to create our React components and codes inside of this folder. And inside of this, we got a bunch of items here. We got the assets. As you can see here, we got simple SVG of this React that you can see right here, and some CSS file as well as JSX files, which these JSX files are basically JavaScript files, but if you add this JSX extension, you can work with this JSX syntax better and have some recommendations on those items, which we're going to cover what is JSX in the next part of the course. So after this JSX file, you can see we got another main.jsx right here, which we're going to come to here again. And we have two style sheets and CSS files right here. And after this source folder, we're going to have this git ignore, which is basically telling our Git system, which if we want to upload this, for example, to the GitHub, which files we don't want to be uploaded there. As you can see, here we got, for example, this node modules, which because this is a large file, we don't want to have this inside of our Git repositories. After this item, we got this file right here, which is not really necessary, and you can delete this right here. Then we got our index.html, which is the entry point for the app that it can build. So what I mean is this, what we're going to do in the source folder using JavaScript and JSX or some style things like CSS, Sass, or other things is going to come and be in this index.html at the last of the production, and this is what we're going to transfer between of the server and user's browser. After this, we're going to have this JSON files right here, which here we got this package.json, which this file acts as the brain of our React app, which it tells what dependencies that we have, what are the metadata that we have. You can see here we got some data about the project, and it shows our scripts for the application that we have as same as our dependencies that we have. And after this dependencies, we got our dev dependencies, which these are the dependencies that we use while we're going to develop, and we don't want these items as our production version of the application, which we're going to create application step by step. And after we've finished it, we're going to run this build script inside of our scripts part to create this application's production version. And as you can see, this holds only the name of the dependency and version. This package-lock.json is going to provide exact snapshot of dependencies and tell us what dependencies on what version with more detail than this package.json. So basically, it's like this. Package.json is going to show what dependencies that we use, and this package-lock.json is going to show us more information about the dependencies that we have used in our projects. Then we got this readme.md, which is not again a necessary file in the project, but if you want to upload your project into repository, this is where you can have some information about of your project, which again we're going to delete this right here. Then after all of these items, we got this vet.config.js file, which as you can see here, it's not very complicated file. This is configuration file for the Vite, which of course, if we want to change any configuration and any settings for our Vite, we're going to use this file to do that. So after we check this file structure inside of our project, here you can see that we got the source folder, which as I told you, this is where it's going to hold our files and components for us. Here you can see we got two JSX files as this main.jsx and this app.jsx. And pay attention what this has done right here. Here you can see in the main, we're going to have this little imports right here, and then we're going to have this create root, which use this document object and get element by ID of root, which if we come to this index.html, you can see here we got this div with the ID of root right here. So here in main.jsx, it's going to grab that element for us and pass that into this create root. And then we got this .render method inside of this create root, which is going to have these lines right here. This is the entry point of our React project and React app for us. So you can see here we got this app, which is this app right here, which we have imported using this app.jsx, which again is this file right here. And here we can have our codes running and change inside of this folder, and it's going to be shown right here. And if you think you don't know every little thing inside of this codes right here, don't be panic. I'm going to give you exactly what are these items right here in the future videos. But what you need to know for now is here we got some JavaScript things going on. And here we got some JSX, which is very similar to the HTML. And here you can see this H1 that we have, which is exactly this thing right here. And if we change any of this right here, for example, adding some random characters right here, you can see we got those items changed there too. And of course, you can have some other things here going on. For example, let's say you want to have some paragraph and say that this is a random text that we want to put right here. So you can see that we got this text right here, or you might have some HRs right here. You can see that you got that item too, and here you can change anything that you want, which in the next video, we're going to cover what is JSX and how we can code this better and what are the differences between of JSX and HTML. But now let's talk about the tips that you need to know for start writing and coding JSX and React, which are these extensions that you can see. If you want to have some suggestions along the code that you write and have some prettier things for code formatting, you need to install some extensions. First one is being this extension of ES7 plus React, Redux, and React-Native, which is very useful extension that you need to have. Another extension that I suggest you to have is this JSX snippets, as well as this JSX HTML tags. And there is lots of other things that you can have. For example, if you want to use Node Package Manager better, here is another extension that is very useful that I use. And again, you have this React.js code snippets, you have this React extension pack, and these extensions are going to make your workflow and your coding experience lots more better. Now, if we get rid of this extension, here you can see until now, we have successfully set up your React environment with Vite in this video, and in the next one, we're going to explore JSX, which is React syntax for writing HTML-like code inside of JavaScript, which is very useful and one of the most important things in React. So if you found this video helpful, please subscribe and give a like into the video. And if you have any questions about the React with or setting up the environment, please drop them in the comments and I'll be answering them as soon as possible. Please give a like and subscribe to catch next videos.